All right, Dan, we're only a few months into the year, but somehow my backlog already looks like a personal failure.
Backlog? Mate, at this point it's a museum. We're not playing games, we're curating them.
Listen, we had a sound plan, right? Start strong, finish games, be disciplined.
Yeah, and then the release schedule said absolutely not.
Exactly. Every week it's like, here's a massive 80-hour RPG. Oh, you like that? Here's another one with crafting.
Yeah, Crimson Desert. I'm looking at you squarely in the eyes on that one. And don't forget the surprise hit that comes out of nowhere and suddenly everyone's like, if you're not playing this, what are you even doing?
Yeah, cheers, internet. I was enjoying my life before that.
So far, though, strong year, right? We've had big sequels, cat breeding, super quick shutdowns, and that was just in the first couple of months.
But I love how stacked it already feels, and we're not even halfway through. Like, we're going to need a bigger top 10, right?
Top 10? Bold of you to assume I'll finish 10 games?
Yeah, fair. At this rate, your Game of the Year list is going to just be games I installed.
Yeah. Number one had a great menu screen.
Well, to be fair, some menus these days are better than the full games. But anyway, let's get into it. Biggest releases so far, what's lived up to the hype, what hasn't, and what's already quietly stealing Game of the Year conversations. Dan with a gaming flair, pixel dreams and worlds to share, joystick tales and button cues. Welcome to Gaming. Yes, hello and welcome to another episode of Gaming Views. But before we jump into looking at some of the year's biggest games so far, I need to introduce my co-host, someone who treats just one more level like a legally binding contract. He's explored every open world, min-maxed things I didn't even know had a max, and somehow formed strong opinions about all of it along the way. If a game is good, he'll tell you why. If it's bad, he'll tell you why, just even more loudly. Either way, I'm here to keep things on track, or at least pretend to. Dan, how you doing?
That was good. I'm good. Yeah. I do worry about my opinions. I talk a lot.
Good. It's good to have them on a podcast called Gaming Views, though.
It is. I've been interviewing for work, a few roles that we've got available, and I have to caveat every conversation, every interview I have with. I just apologise up front and go. I do talk a lot and quite quickly, so if I say anything, please just ask me to repeat it. Yeah. So sorry, listeners, viewers, people.
No, they love it, and that's why they keep coming back week after week.
Yeah, I'll take it.
And on that, hi.
Yeah.
Thank you for tuning in and listening and watching. If you haven't yet, press that little follow button, press a little subscribe button. It's a very quick action on your part, but it means the world to us. And even if you don't like what you're hearing, maybe think about pressing the follow and subscribe button anyway, right?
Yeah, because you might do one day. We might get it right one day. We might get it right. And people will go, I like that one. I like maybe there'll be more.
And then you might want to go right back to the start. But yeah, no, honestly, thank you. Because we've had a little flurry of subscribers on YouTube again recently. And yeah, Dan and I absolutely love it when we see that little counter tick up. So as I keep saying and joking, it gives us a bit of validation to our little
we all need validation, Dan.
Yeah,
I think it's childhood trauma that did that, but we all need validation.
Yeah. Gaming Views is who we are, so follow us across all social media and your podcast platform of choice. And I keep threatening it, so I'm going to do it now. I've sort of done a bit of a scrape of some comments we've had across said platforms. So at time of recording, our most recent episode is the video game crash. And Dan, you created a phenomenal thumbnail for that, so thank you.
Welcome.
Yeah. We had on YouTube, we had Cutty1427. He has said, or they have said, sorry, damn, that thumbnail is living in my head rent free. Best one yet. Great episode, guys. So thank you. Middle Age Podcast, who I've appeared on, and you've done an episode with them. They also said that thumbnail is amazing. And Pete, great episode looking back, guys. Very thorough and interesting as always. So yeah, thank you all of you. TikTok, I'd noticed today had a few comments on. There was a particular video we put out, and it was about you talking about is is PC gaming that expensive, or is kind of like is console gaming more expensive? We had a few comments here, which as it was mainly you talking on that bit, I just wondered if you want, put it to you and have a right to reply. So Tacky Tix said, gaming on a PC, you pay up front significantly more for your setup, but the games are generally cheaper, whereas consoles have historically been significantly cheaper, not actually making much profit because they make money from the games. Depends what way round you want it. These days, consoles are getting more expensive though. If you want the best console experience for Crimson Desert, you're needing to drop £800 for a PS5 Pro. I'm playing it on PS5 standard. It looks great and plays at 60 FPS. I think that's because you were saying you'd got it on the PlayStation.
And it's a totally valid point. Yes, you do pay more for gaming as a PC up front, as I found out. But sometimes you can't play those games on a PC, as I also found out. Because I think I was reading an article the other day, and what was quite interesting is I hadn't taken into account that a lot of the, most of the consoles you have probably have about 16 gig of VRAM in them, which is more than enough, and certainly the right bandwidth to be able to play, some of these games. All right, sometimes at 1440p, sometimes at 4K, especially for the PS5 Pro with some tweaks and things, and look very beautiful. Whereas an 8 gig card like I've got on the PC I've got, it is not doing it, and we'll talk about a little bit of that when we come to a game later. So a lot of the stuff, Crimson Desert in particular runs spectacularly well optimized. But you're right, you pay up front for the machine, and yes, consoles famously have always been, they've supplemented the cost in some way or another to get people gaming on them. Not always, but you're right. I think, we're going to see a horrendous price bump in the next generation, and it's going to, hit people's pockets hard, I think, for a premium machine. Even this week, PlayStation or Sony talking about releasing potentially 3 machines, one upper tier, one lower tier, a bit like Xbox did with the X and S, and then a handheld. So, it'll pay you money, you take your choice with Sony by the sounds of it, but who knows? It's all rumours. But yeah, no, fair point. Yeah, I agree.
We had, on that theme, Data Plague said they're both expensive now, and I responded saying, yep, they're not getting any cheaper, which I think echoes what you said. Got the Great Milenko, with consoles, your upfront costs are way lower. On PC, you can buy games at crazy discounts depending how many games you buy. Also, the whole PC upgrade thing is not worth bringing up since most people upgrade their PCs rarely. PC lasts as long as a console generation if you're a normal person. If you're a major PC nerd and buy upgrades constantly, then it's obviously expensive, but most PCs aren't, which, again, I guess is valid, especially if you're paying more upfront for a higher spec one.
Yeah, there was obviously the old Moore's law around, the rapidity of PCs and the architecture, moving forward consistently quicker rate. And we do see that a lot in PC architecture these days, particularly if you want to buy, you have to keep up with the latest motherboard to be able to buy the latest GPU, to be able to slot the latest RAM, all of those things. So, but again, my last PC before I got the mini desktop, I had for 5 years. Mm-hmm. So, which is nearly a console generation, without having the need to upgrade, and actually edited videos and stuff far better than the one I've got now, which is now got me thinking I'm going back to a proper tower in no short, well, probably in the next 3 months or so. I'm going to go back to a proper tower just so I can get the extra oomph from a graphics card so yeah, I totally on board. And I'm more and more now, I see myself moving towards PC gaming. Because I said to you the other day, I'm really enjoying the tweaking and the nerdiness of doing it. Because I used to build my own PCs, then I stopped, and I was like, no, I'm going to buy a console. And so I went to consoles. I still always had a PC, but it was always pre-built. And then I was like, no, do you know what? I quite like tweaking it and having the ability to upgrade it and stuff. But yeah, it's few and far between that people actually go about and do that, because it does cost the earth. Some of the top tier graphics cards now, 1,200 quid for a card, you're looking at a 5090 for something like that. But even if the 5080s, coming in at $500-600 quid or $500-600, it's insane. Yeah. It's insane.
Yeah. Incredible. And just the last comment for now, Lua Ivoran, I would say that for most people, a gaming PC that runs current gen games is out of their price range, and so they put it off. Then games improve and they look at making a current gen PC, and it's still expensive because they are always starting from nothing. Whereas a console is one and done for usually a quarter of the price, and all games work on it for 10 plus years of its life cycle. Again, Yeah.
Again, it's a similar point, and then look, all completely valid. It is horses for courses, what people want to do. I do think your selection is generally much broader on a PC in terms of games. You know, and cost wise, you know, back to Taki Tick's point, you are saving yourself on games. I went to, I can't remember which one I sent the link to on you, but I bought a bundle the other day with 30 games in it for 20 quid. When you total up the cost of the games in there, including one that was worth 60 quid alone, you know, it was over 200 quid. And I spent £30 on it. You know, all right, I might never play half of those games, in fairness. I might never play 2/3 of them. But they're there. I have them. I own them.
Yeah.
Well, as much as you own anything these days.
But I think also, especially for the two of us who are, you know, even myself with the purchase of the Steam Deck, I've moved into a lot more buying PC games and games off Steam. So for us, where we are building up that library, things like this, like that, you know, Humble Bundle, I bought quite a few bundles of that. It's really worthwhile, and for us, it's unlikely we've got the games, so it's a great sort of leapfrog, head start. That's all.
Totally. Yeah, totally. I mean, I can't remember how many games I've got in my Steam catalogue now that, you know, I think at the start of the year, before I started seriously gaming, I probably had, including the Half-Life, all the Half-Life games, all that sort of stuff, I probably had about 10. I've probably got about over 100 now from game. You know what I mean? It's just shot up because I am playing more and more on the PC. But horses for courses, right? I'll always still be a console gamer at heart, I think, but you know, I'm really enjoying the options that PC gaming gives me right now.
So thank you for all those comments, and please do leave us comments, because it also reminds us to do the housekeeping bit of reminding people that we exist out there on things. So but no, we do look forward to the comments, so please do, if you feel so inclined, leave us a comment wherever you're seeing us or hearing us. So, which reminds me, I did forget to look at Spotify. The only reason I say that is because Joey, the ever-present on this show, Joey from the Game Club Pod, mentions he's played ET. So obviously, because we talked about the video game Crash, he said he's played it, and it was kind of a crazy game. Yeah.
I knew he was mad. I didn't think he was insane.
Yeah.
Hi, Joey.
Right. Dan, what you been playing?
So I'm going to intentionally, because I've mentioned it for the past 4 weeks, brush over Crimson Desert. I have been playing it and putting a lot more time in it. I think I'm at about 70 or 80 hours now. Still loving it, but I think we should reserve that now for when you finally play it, and then we can have a chat about it, and you know, we can get some different perspective on it. So I've been playing 2 games. I'll cover one first, and then I'll cover another, which I think will segue nicely into your game. So let's cover Replaced first. So I picked up Replaced, came onto Game Pass last Tuesday. I'm probably about, I don't know, 10 hours into it, something like that. Well, I'm about middle of chapter 5 or start of chapter 5, sorry. It's a game of 2 halves. It looks absolutely stunning. It is beautiful. It's all kind of 8-bit voxel art type thing, but it's a 2.5D, so you know, stuff comes out the screen at you and you can move it backwards and forwards between the screen at certain points. It's beautiful. It's a very, for those of you who don't know what Replaced is, it's the story of a chap called Warren, who's I guess he's a scientist at a dystopian future corporation called Phoenix Corp, and an accident that happens at the beginning of the game sees his consciousness replaced with that of his AI, which is called Reach. And this corporation basically rules over the earth, and everyone else is left around, and they deal in organ harvesting and all sorts of things at the story. But essentially, what you're trying to do as Reach is gain access back into the walled city where you're ejected from at the start of the game. And you meet a lot of people who live outside, and like nomads and things like that, and you form relationships with them. But it's essentially a 2.5D action platformer with some fighting, very similar to kind of Arkham. You know, there's counters and things like that. But it looks incredible, very heavy cyberpunk aesthetic, with a kind of dash of, oh my God, do androids dream of electric sheep? What's the film? Blade Runner thrown in. I tell you what, when you get to 50, stuff starts going. All right, that's all I'm going to say. So very, very heavy Blade Runner type aesthetic, even down to the coat that he wears. Looks very reminiscent of Harrison Ford's character. It looks amazing. There are a few issues in terms of it. The way it plays is most of the time is great, but because it's an action platformer, you have to be quite specific with timings and jumps and things like that. And I found that it feels very sluggish, particularly some of the combat sections as well. And I think with a few tweaks, it could be amazing, but it seems very slow. Now, whether they've deliberately had to do that because there's no, that I know of, there's no way to upgrade your character to be quicker at things and things like that. So I think it's just intentionally they've dialed it down or made it more sluggish because the animation, it has to fit in with the animations that happen. But it feels, for that reason, feels quite sluggish. And I got about a third of the way through where I am now, maybe a little bit more, got to one of the boss fights, and I was just like, I just couldn't do it because my reactions I felt were quick enough, but the game was not interpreting what I was doing. And I said to you, there was an instant where I should have shot in one direction, shot in another. So I toned the difficulty down a level and did it. But I'm still really enjoying it though. I think it is a great game. I think it wins just on looks alone, and you just want to keep playing it just to see more of what they do with what they've put in there. And the team have done an amazing job. So yeah, I would still recommend it's on Game Pass. You can pick it up for free, so you can still go in and have a go at it, and see what you think. And even if to just look at the opening couple of scenes, because they are done majestically, and it reminds me very much of Another World or Flashback and games like that. Yeah. And it's a joy to look at, not quite a joy to play, but they have acknowledged that, and they have said they're going to be released patches and stuff for it. So I'm hoping that happens, and it feels like it's quite a contained story as well. So yeah, I'm enjoying it. But I will go back and finish it. I had a bit of a bash on it yesterday. I've also been playing a little bit of Slay the Spire 2 and Raccoon as well, but just thrown in every now and then as a dash of good measure to show I'm not just a one-note gamer on Crimson Desert. The other game I picked up that was so good that I bought it twice, and I'll explain why. On Friday,
and I will jump in on this because I've played it as well, so it makes perfect sense for us to
and we should absolutely have that conversation. So on Friday I bought Capcom's latest joint, Pragmata. I fucking love this game. So much so that I finished it at the weekend. So I played it for 2 days away weekend, let's call it, Friday night, Saturday and Sunday, and I finished it. I think what did I say? 19 hours, I think I said.
I think that's what you said today. Yeah.
So 19 hours, I think out of the entire game, I'm probably 85, 90% complete. There's a few pickups I've missed, but other than that, it's one of those games you can pick up and do that with, and it's joyous because of it. I've seen a lot of reviews refer to it as a Xbox 360 era game. And it absolutely hits that vibe.
Not in a negative way. Not in a negative way, but it's got a feel. It's got a feel about it.
It has. It's Dead Space with happiness. It
is. I've seen that. Yeah, happy Dead Space. Yeah,
it's so good. The reason I bought it twice. So I have in my current gaming rig. In my current PC that I bought, it has a 5060 card, which after buying it, I realised everyone has said, don't buy that card. Fair enough, right? So get NVIDIA 5060, which remember runs Crimson Desert on 4040p, absolutely at 60 frames a second with all the bells and whistles switched on. It looks beautiful. With Pragmata, I was getting 60 frames a second at 40p. For the opening level, there was a couple of tweaks I had to do, that bane of PC gamers everywhere. And then I hit the first, I'm going to call it open world section. It's not open world, but people will know what I mean who've got there. I don't want to spoil anything for anyone. And it just tanked. The performance just bottomed out, and there was nothing I could do. Now I think it's the 8 gig of RAM, it's the single stick 32 gig of 8 gig of VRAM, single stick of 32 gig RAM that I've got in the machine. I think is causing it to have a bit of a meltdown. Nothing I did could make the performance work. I had it, and this is testament to the game. I had enjoyed that first opening section before I got there so much. I went on the Xbox and I bought it on Saturday morning. So actually, no, Friday. So yeah, I did only literally play it Saturday and Sunday. So
you started again.
I started again on the Xbox on Saturday morning, and man, what a game! What a just pure chunk of absolute throwback fun it is. Shall I just give a quick for people who aren't familiar with what it is?
Yeah. We won't spoilerific it, but yeah, just a synopsis. Yeah.
So, Pragmata, you play a chap called Hugh, who is part of a team sent to the moon to investigate some downed communications. You get there, something happens, and you end up teaming up with an AI, and this AI is in the form of a small child. A young girl that he calls Diana. She has a code name, but it's close enough to Diana. That's what he calls her. The hook of this game is a standard, like an Xbox 360 shooter. You go around and you shoot enemies. The clever trick in this is while you're aiming, a little grid will pop up for all enemies. This is a little grid will pop up. And there is a hacking mini game you have to perform with the A, B, X, Y buttons to get round a grid to allow you, when successfully hit, they pop open certain areas on an enemy, weak points, for you to then shoot. Without that, you do minimum damage. They're like bullet sponges without that. Now, that sounds incredibly aggravating, but Capcom have done this in such a way that it is truly something special, and it doesn't get boring or annoying throughout the entire game, and they introduce other layers of mechanics and things on top of it. It's fucking phenomenal.
And just out on the hacking, because I said to you at lunch today, didn't I, that it's great at the start, but I was worried that if I've got to do that for every enemy, is it going to get monotonous or boring? But it doesn't, because as you said, you unlock other kind of effects, status effects for the enemies, but also there's random things. So it'll put blocks that you can't go through or reset. So you've got to then start thinking ahead whilst you're being sort of attacked by enemies. But then even you've got another kind of hacking game where there are certain enemies that will launch missiles, so you can hack the missiles to go back towards them. And it just, when you realize that, you just think, this game is, it didn't, at the moment, I'm not as far as you, so I'm about 9 hours in, but that mini game, I'm actually looking forward to. It's not got frustrating at all.
It's a brilliant mechanic. It's so the whole game, I think, is so meticulously designed to avoid player frustration. You have a place called the Shelter, which is like your home base on this, I guess it's a ring on the moon. And you then have, not massive, 4 or 5 sections to unlock that you go to each one and you travel there by tram. But the Shelter is your home base. And in that home base, there are various sections with little pop-up icons and things like that. And you could feel overwhelmed by that. But you don't, because it's so well put together. You just kind of go, oh, that's where I go to do that thing, and that's where I go to do that thing, and that's who I talk to do that. And it's just a genius piece of design. You know, the way they've put this thing together, any element of this could easily fall down and be frustrating, but it just doesn't. Like red rooms. So there are areas in this game called red rooms that are higher tier enemies.
Like a challenge room, isn't it?
Like a challenge room. Yeah, like, you know, like what were they in Shinobi? You had those areas where yeah, like elite fights. They're like that. Now they could easily be really frustrating, but they've created it so well that quite often there is I call it a respawn point, but you have a shelter hatch that you can go back to. So you can go back to the shelter and you don't lose anything, don't lose XP, you don't anything like, it's not a Dark Soulsy type thing. But then you come back and generally they're positioned right next to a red room. So if you're low on health, which you don't replenish through levels, you have to go back to the shelter. You could just go, I'll go back to shelter, I'll upgrade a bit, and I'll go and do a red room.
And that's
you
exactly what I did last night. Exactly what I did last night. Because I'd used up all my, health potions, but health vials. And I thought, I've got the key now to the red room. And I was thinking, you know what, I'll just pop back to the shelter. Because, like you said, you don't lose anything. It resets the enemies, but again, you just get to have the fun of that mini game again.
Right. That was every time I was doing that. I was like, when I play Dark Souls, I'm like, oh man, I've got to go back. I've got to rest at a bonfire. But if I do that, like the risk reward element is like, all those enemies that mullered me are going to come back. So I'm just going to lose all my shit again. Yeah. And yet this, you go, oh no, I get to go back and fight those enemies again. And that was really super cool. And it's just, like I said, any element could be really frustrating, but it's not. It's so well designed. And, you know, I was trying to articulate to you, look, I finished the game and the game switches some stuff up later game. And you're like, again, those elements, won't spoil it, but they could become really frustrating or they could seem really jarring. It's done with such meticulous care and attention that you're like, even this is really fucking fun. Yeah. Even the end of the game, I'm like, once you get to a certain point that something happens, you're like, it couldn't end any other way. You're almost like, it was so well written. Like the story isn't super heavy, but it's so well done. I'm really looking forward to you finishing it so we can have a conversation about it because it's
in a couple of days. Yeah. It's interesting, isn't it? Because I've said to you, it's really well made. And by that, what I mean is, you know, you've mentioned a shelter and you said it layers mechanics. So at one point I realized you level up the shelter, which gives you more sort of upgrades. The upgrades, so you can upgrade your weapons, you can upgrade your health, your damage, the hacking, but you've also got, you know, you can buy weapons, you can buy mods and chips, you know, when you play it, it'll all make sense. But they're also like challenge rooms. And what I said to you last night, I found myself going back to some of the early levels because, again, each zone is broken down into like 2 or 3 areas. So you can go back to a specific one. I found myself going to mop up all the collectibles, mainly because, without spoiling that, there are certain collectibles that get displayed in the shelter and you'll want to do that for a specific reason. But also, like the VR missions, which usually I don't do in games.
Brilliant.
They give you really, the rewards are really valuable and useful. And so I found myself doing it.
Which is really good. Yeah. So you get like there are three ranks,
objectives, isn't it?
Yeah. So if you finish that level,
you'll get it.
You get a prize.
Yeah.
If you do it under a certain time for most of them. So if say the level is like 90 seconds to do it, if you do it in 80 seconds, you'll get a second prize. And the third prize, if you do it without taking damage, is that as an example. But it's so well done, but it does make you keep going, I could just go back and do I can probably do that one. Yeah. There was one yesterday, you had to unlock doors in a sequence. No fighting or anything like that. You just had to be quick enough on the buttons. And I spent about 20 minutes just keep going back to it and going, no, I can do this. I can do this. I can do this. And I was just like obsessed with doing it. It's so good, Dan.
Really. And I actually realised that's the first game for a long time I bought on day of release as well. I don't think I bought a release day.
It's not for me, but yeah. So yes, I have played much of Pragmata, and that's been so and that is the first time in a long time I've bought a game on a Friday and finished it by Sunday night. That's, you know, been 20 hours into I specifically kind of went, no, I want to do this because I wanted to talk about it here, but it was so good it just kept me wanting to go back. I just wanted to keep going back and playing it, and I didn't have a life all weekend though.
No, I said to you, it's that game that, you know, I keep saying sometimes you get into a gaming funk after you've played a really good game. It's the sort of game that if you're in one, I think it would take you right back out of it again, wouldn't it? It's
totally. Do you know what it was? It was the perfect accompaniment to something like Crimson Desert. Because that is sprawling and massive and mad. And to have this self-contained story that was so beautifully designed, and I hadn't realised it was the same designer as Nier Automata. And when you look at it, you go, of course it was. Like the aesthetic, because we have to talk about the aesthetic as well. It's stunning. Like, although it's all set on the moon and everyone's going to be going, oh, it's really boring and like grey, because of this 3D printing, essentially.
Yeah,
I'm going to say
yeah.
because of 3D printing, you have all these biomes, and these biomes are all very different, and they're all amazing. I don't want to spoil what they are, but they're fucking brilliantly done.
Yeah.
Like, so good.
And let's just say the 3D printer may not have been working properly at times as well, so it might have had a bit of a malfunction.
I mean, most 3D printers are shit anyway, to be honest. So it's kind of there. But you know, as you explore the story, and you'll see this, you know, you'll have seen this as you go through. Obviously, like a lot of these games, there are items to like data packs to read and collect like emails and things like that. And it's quite funny. It's the whole game is, although you're using an AI to help you, it's very ambivalent and anti or at times AI. Because it's basically a bunch of humans moaning about the fact that they're bored because AI has taken over their job.
Yeah. Yes, you're right. Yeah.
So
the only thing I will say, because it's not really a spoiler, because it is just a data pad you'll come across. It was like somebody was trying to get themselves sent home.
Yes.
But they failed the test because AI could work out that they were trying to fail the test, so it passed them. Yeah. And it's like brilliant.
It's so good.
Yeah.
It's so good.
Okay. Yeah. So that's what I've played mostly. I didn't get as much done because, and this will be one of the things that date this episode. Yesterday was WrestleMania, so high raging rich. I played. I watched WrestleMania, but I found a link to gaming on that. Right,
wrestling games are shit.
No, not that. So there was a wrestler, AJ Lee. She had on her boots, she had the Stars Raccoon City patch on her outfit. So there you go. There's a gaming.
Is she the one that always dresses up as video game characters?
No,
because there's a couple of them. This is one of those.
Yeah,
I don't know wrestling, Dan, as you can tell.
Yeah, so drop us your wrestling views and your WrestleMania views. So I didn't get as much done of Pragmata as I'd hoped. So what else had I played? I completed Stellar Blade. I think that's all I'm going to say because I'd mentioned that for a number of weeks, but I finally completed that.
Good job.
I'm going to say this one next. I've played Is This Seat Taken? So again, feels like that's a complete antithesis to Stellar Blade and Pragmata. Really, really having fun with it. If you've not seen it, it's like, you know, those logic games that you get in papers online. It's like Bob wants to sit by a window but doesn't want to sit next to James, and Mary wants to eat something but doesn't like smelling strong smells, etc. And you've got to fit everyone at this dinner table or in a bus. And this really works because it's within a game. It's, you know, you can actually pick up the characters and drop them into the seats. It does it via levels of like cities. So I think you start off in, I can't remember where you start off, but you've got London, you've got Brussels. The first few stages might be in a car, like in a limousine. Then it will move to, say, I don't know, restaurant. And then it might be a cinema theatre. So somebody wants to sit next to someone to steal their popcorn. And it's just really good. And it starts off really easy and you think, oh yeah, I'll finish this no time. But it really does layer up the kind of demands of these little icons. And there's a kind of story running through it. They've got some speech. But it's really cool. Like, some of the characters haven't showered for a few days, say, in their area of effect, you have to counter that. Okay, right. Because somebody might want to sleep, but they can't sleep if they're next to someone who's ponging or is playing music. So, yeah, it's just a really fun lateral thinking puzzle game that I'm playing on the Steam Deck, and I think it's perfect for that. So.
I have no comment. One of my pet hates is those puzzles that go, Susan is 12 and Jenny is 13. If Susan is 12, and I'm just like, I don't care. It feels like one of those games. I mean, you've described it beautifully, but it generally feels like one of those games I just go, I'm going to fucking hate that. I'm just I hate trying to solve problems.
No, you should try. It's it even then layers things. So if you're in the car, say, or the bus, it'll get to the next stop, and some people will get off. And then some people will want to get on. So you might have to rearrange the people you've already put on there.
Because we do that, don't we? If somebody else sits down next to you on the train, you go, I'm fucking nuts. Yeah, you smell, by the way. I'm just going to make it really obvious. We're British, dude. We don't do that. We put up with it.
Well, most people move away from us, not because we smell, but because we're the only ones usually talking on the train, aren't we?
All the time. Yeah. All you can hear is other people's tinny music out there, AirPods, iPods.
But my final thing on this one is, so the stage I got to last night is a football match, And it's added an extra mechanic where some people want to sit or stand. So not only have you got to work out where people go, but you can put the seat down or up. So you've got to layer that as well. So yeah, we'll see. We'll see if I've got frustrated with it.
Does it include that whole thing? So when I go to anywhere, whether it's a cinema or a theatre, or it doesn't matter what the occasion, if I go anywhere where there is like seating or a crowd or a concert or whatever, I am an asshole magnet. I will go to a cinema and some absolute muppet that will do the worst thing you could do throughout will always sit within a 10-foot radius of me. Does it have that?
Not at the moment, but let's speak next week. Right?
Yeah.
And I say the next game I played, I only did it for a couple of hours and I got told off a lot during it, which I'll explain now. So I played a bit of Minecraft with Joey again. So Joey said, do you fancy playing a bit of Minecraft? And I'm like, well, I'm really shit at it. And he goes, don't worry, so am I. He goes, I just want to build a house. So I thought, all right, let's do this. And yeah, he kept telling me off basically because he was, well, to be fair, he was actually, every time I turned around, he'd built like a massive section of his house. And I was just running away, hitting things and digging. And we go to this village because it's changed a lot since I've been in a village. And he's trying to like loot the villagers. And I'm like, you know, like the in Home Alone, the wet bandits. I was just going around smashing all the windows of these villagers' houses. And then I said, oh, there's lava there. And all I hear him say is, no, don't destroy it. Don't let the lava out whilst I've already damaged it. And this lava's rolling across the village.
You're just a force of chaos in his game. Yeah. Was that all you were doing? Was it his world?
It was his world, yeah. Well, I call it our world. He goes, and then I'm like, there's a sheep there. And he goes, don't kill it. And I'm like, no, there's no sheep here. But then the funniest thing was he was building this house and I spent about 10 minutes just running around the walls of it as he was building it. That was my contribution. So
I hate Minecraft, but my kids fucking love it. And they build some amazing things. As I said before, my youngest built this animal park. You can't even call it a zoo. It was this wildlife park with like ocelots and it just had everything in it. And she'd built all the feeding areas for them and and I was just amazed at her skill at building this stuff. And there's me going, I couldn't even build a house. I don't even know how to chop down a tree. Like, I don't like that game.
I haven't got the vision or the patience, but for causing havoc, for causing havoc in someone's fairly well planned world. So, sorry, Joey. That's all I'll say. Right. So that's what we've been playing. Let's move on to a bit of news. It'd been a bit of a quiet week, actually, news-wise. So I pulled out a few stories. Something I did say earlier to you was that it feels like we're getting a lot more Steam stories again and Steam machines. So I'm really hoping soon there's going to be some...
I don't trust Valve. Dan. After the Half-Life 3 debacle at the end of last year, I don't trust them at all.
You've said it now.
You tell me all you want.
Yeah. Well, there's a couple of things actually that Valve have done. One is I think I've started seeing it, and I don't know if it's like a fairly new thing, but there's I know this is so you can already see people's specifications. But one of the things they're looking at doing is also based on your system. When you're looking at a game, it'll give you what it thinks you should hit FPS wise, which I think is a great
I like that.
is a great idea.
I like that.
But the one that caught my eye here was that Valve could be prepping to roll out 30-day Steam price tracking in the US, making it harder for publishers to mess with discounts. And it's exactly what it says on the tin. So it says, if you've seen a game reduced by 90%, so this is from PC Gamer, sorry, and wondered if it's really a discount, Valve may have you covered in future. Recent files in the Steam database imply it might be working on a wider rollout of a tracking system that bases the discount percentage on the lowest price in 30 days. Again, I just think it's just and someone's probably going to point it out to me, but I just see it as another tool to aid the customer, to give you, the customer, a lot more information, isn't it? To kind of see if you genuinely are getting it at a discounted price.
This is something Amazon introduced a few years ago, isn't it? On Amazon, it will show you if a thing has hit a lower price in a certain time period. I think mainly on their partner sales, probably not their own ones direct from them. They don't do a lot of those anymore, do they? But yeah, I think it makes sense. Is it? I didn't read the article. Is it saying you would see what the 30-day low was, or is it saying you would get a discount matching that 30-day low?
No, I think you'd see what if it was at the low.
It bases the discount percentage on the lowest price, so you might get a discount against it. Yeah, because sometimes I'm not sure I ever trust the prices on. I said I bought that bundle, and that one of these games was like 60 quid, and then I looked, and that game was all right. It was 3 years old, but on Steam it's selling for 60 quid for the deluxe edition, and I'm like, I think it was Evil Genius 2 or something like that, and I'm like, how is a 3-year-old game paying like selling for 60 quid on Steam? I'm sure, like anywhere else, you could probably pick it up for a tenner.
Yeah.
You know, so I'm not sure I entirely trust. I don't really understand how their pricing works, whether they set the price themselves or whether the publishers set the price, and you know, so I don't really quite understand how it works.
Yeah, I think it's that. And just to be clear, yeah, it'll just tell you what the game has been. So there's a bit of code that's been found here on the Steam DB, and for example, it's got a couple of lines here that you would expect to see on there, and it's got like, this game was previously on discount for $15 within the past 25 days. This game is currently at the lowest price within the past 15 days. So it just helps you, I think, understand. And like you said, I think there are some games, they might be on discount for a while. Then at the end of a discount period, it probably goes back to normal RRP for whatever reason, whether it's just to see, because if you buy it at that price, they're going to get money, but you probably expect in a month's time it's going to be discounted again.
I know there was a lot of, again, just going back to Amazon, I know there was a lot of furore a couple of years back because what companies were doing was, before like Prime Day or whatever it was, or Black Friday, they put their prices up so that they could say there was a bigger discount on the day, when actually you were getting it for a much lower discount than normal RRP, because they bumped the price up. So I think that's why they introduced that tracking thing. And I wonder if it's a similar effort to kind of stop some of that. I don't know if, you know, that's something the publishers do, or I don't, you know, but because it's an old trick, isn't it? It's going, well, no, look, you're getting a massive discount, because previously it was $100 and now it's 60. And you're like, no, yesterday, like the week before it was $70. So you've actually given me, you know, I just think it's fucking capitalism, Dan. Capitalism.
Well, it's, you know, in this case, though, this tool, I think, is just great for giving the transparency to the buyer, right? And I think, you know, we've said it again before that Steam and Valve have done well in trying to make it like a community and trying to be there for the purchaser. And look, they're a business, they're making money, but this feels, again, like another right move in giving us information. I think that's all you want as a purchaser, isn't it? Is information. To be able to make a reasoned purchase, right?
Yeah, agreed. Yeah.
Next story, the headline is just what got me on here. So again, it's from PC Gamer. AI experts disagree with the public about whether it's a good thing.
So these AI experts work in AI, chance? Is that?
Well, this is it. 73% of people who work on AI say it will be beneficial for jobs, but they would say that, wouldn't they? Ultimately, there's some figures here just to throw out. So it says 73% of experts believe it's beneficial for jobs, while only 23% of US adults agree in general. The other thing, just towards the end of this article, there were some takeaway facts here. So I don't think it's just the US itself, but the US population is particularly skeptical of AI, with the lowest trust in its government's AI regulation. AI optimism is highest in Southeast Asia, so Malaysia, Thailand, Indonesia, and Singapore. 79% of people say that companies that use AI should disclose it. And investment in AI more than doubled last year, with private investment growing the most, and the rest mainly accounted for by mergers and acquisition. I think the only thing I'll say to this is, yep, they would say that, but also I think we've gone past the point of even it being a debate now, because they have thrown so much money at it and are trying to make it the thing that is almost irrelevant. It feels like what we think now, doesn't it?
I just want cheaper RAM, Dan.
Yeah.
I just I don't care. I just want cheaper RAM, dude.
Well, we broke last week, didn't we? That it's gone down 5%, right? So
after a 2,000% uplift. Yeah, I mean, it must be shocking for people out there to go. People who are experts in AI don't agree with people who say AI is bad.
Yeah.
Do they? Really? That's a shock.
Yeah. Mechanics say you should get your car serviced. Yeah.
Yeah, the host of Gaming Views disagree with people out there who say the Gaming Views isn't good. Yeah. Don't do it. Well, actually, one of them does. I mean, look, I think we've debated AI a fair bit on it. Debated. We've had a conversation about AI enough on it, and I still stand by the fact I think there is a place for some of this stuff. Right, and I'm the Star Trek generation. I'm the next generation Star Trek generation. You know, where all the computers are AI and helping people and doing nice things, and that, you know, I think if you can get to that place, yeah. But then you got to remember, in the world of Star Trek, there is no money because they've all solved all of that problem, and computers do everything for them. They don't have to go out and work a job. If we can get there, I'm in. Yeah. But we're never going to get there. You know, there's too much greed in this world, and AI is just another example of the greed that's lower in the world right now. And that bubble is going to burst at some point, and people are going to be very shocked. You know?
I'm just waiting for next week's headline. AI tells you AI is good for you.
Yeah, I mean, it's amazing, isn't it? Like there's so many points out there of people saying how bad this could be.
Yeah.
You know, it's that leopard eats face party. You know, man joins leopard eats face party and surprised when leopard eats face. It's that same thing, isn't it? With the AI experts and AI all over the place. People are going to be really sure. Nobody told me the bubble was going to burst. Nobody except everybody. I mean, even AI itself was telling you that the bubble was going to burst. You know. Yeah, I don't want it to go away, but I want it to be done in the right way. And you know, I want cheaper RAM. That's it.
That's all we want. So make
and
it.
GPUs.
So
GPUs.
AI, if you're listening to us, make RAM cheaper.
But I don't think, you know, look, they were already making a lot of money off of RAM. Like what it costs to produce it and what it costs, you know, yes, rare earth minerals are expensive, blah, blah, blah. But they were already making extortionate profits off it. And now that's just, you know, it's even more extreme now. They'll just go back to making more profit. But if you look at video cards and VRAM in particular on video cards, those companies like Nvidia now makes money hand over fist, right? We know this. It wasn't until Bitcoin mining that GPU costs skyrocketed and continue to do so, and is made only worse now. Those prices never started decreasing once Bitcoin became, you know, unfavorable, or, you know, so it's not unfavorable, you know what I mean? So I can't ever see RAM coming back down to where it was.
Yeah.
You know, I can't see you buying 32 gig of RAM for 100 quid. Those days of that are gone, right? So yeah, it's a shame it's had that impact, and that is my only big problem with it. No,
well,
obviously not.
if Steam, if Valve starts selling it through Steam, we'll know if it's at the cheapest price it's been for 30 days, right?
I said it before, mate. You'll just be fucking renting your PC. Yeah. You'll be renting your game online. You'd just be like, well, as long as the broadband's working, I can play.
All right. Well, I want to move on because we're not even going to hit the main part of the episode yet, because I've got something else after. I'm going to skip the next story I told you, and I'll tell you for why afterwards. But so we're going to move on to the last one, which I've told you not to open. And the reason being is this has come from Polygon, and they have come up with their staff, the 100 greatest game quotes. Now, I'm trusting you've not got it open. So if you can guess the number one game quote, I'll buy you a slice of cake on our walk next time, as well as a cup of coffee.
I'm hoping it's a me Mario.
Mario. That would have been good. But I just wanted to give you the top 10 then. So my wallet's safe. Let's go 10 down then. So I'm not going to do all hundreds. So listeners, you can breathe a sigh of relief. Where
are you going from then?
10.
You confused me now.
No, I'll do 10 down. I wanted to see if you could get.
You're doing the top 10 countdown.
Yeah, I'll do the top 10.
Go for it.
So number 10 is "You have died of dysentery" from the Oregon Trail.
Oh, that's the Oregon Trail. Oh, I thought this was a quiz. Sorry. Yes.
Oh, okay. All right. Let's do it as a quiz. See if you can decrypt this one.
I would have got that one.
Thank you, Mario. But our princess is in another castle.
Oh, was that Super Mario Bros?
Yep, 1985. Number 8 is, for me, It's Always Like This.
Oh, fucking clue.
Silent Hill 2. Character is Angela. This is a bizarre one. Oh, here we go. I've got the quote here. It's a longer quote, but it's no, I'm not going to get you to guess it, because number 7 is called Cloud Reacts to Aerith's Death, and they've just then put a long quote there. So I'm not even
Final Fantasy 7.
Yep, there you go. Here we go. Here's a good one. Don't be sorry, be better.
Oh, that's God of War.
Yeah, Kratos.
Yeah, it's Kratos.
Here we go. Oh shit, here we go again.
Lethal Weapon. Is it GTA? Is it?
Yeah, it's a meme online. It's Carl CJ Johnson from San Andreas.
Oh, San Andreas, of course it is. Yeah.
Yep. Despite everything, it's still you. That's from Undertale. The character was Frisk.
Sure.
Number 3, what is a man? A miserable little pile of secrets.
That's Dan Hornblower's Life 101.
That was Castlevania
Symphony of the Night.
Yeah, what you said. Number 2, do you think love can bloom even on a battlefield?
Is that Clara? That can't be Clara Obscura, is it?
No. Metal Gear Solid from Hal Emmerich. And number 1, you should get this one. It's dangerous to go alone. Take this.
Oh, Zelda. I should have known that. Oh, man, listen to Zelda.
Legend of Zelda. So,
bollocks.
So
that was my episode.
Fun little bit of news I got there. But yeah, probably going to got the top 100. Go have a look at that if you fancy it. Right. Moving on. So we're not getting to it just yet, but the aim of this episode was to have a look at some of the bigger releases that have come out this year. Not necessarily the best games, but ones that either were going to be hyped up. Maybe we'd mentioned them on here, picked them out. But I thought it's quite fitting that as we recorded, at the time of recording, we had the BAFTAs for video games for last year.
We did, yeah.
Just going to go through it and read out the winners. I said to you, I watched it. I thought it was actually quite good. They treated it like the BAFTAs, so it wasn't done like zany, pulse-pounding soundtracks or anything like that. It was given a bit of respect, I think. And I thought the host, I thought she did brilliantly. And yeah, I said to you, I yelped. I actually sort of let out a cheer. I whooped for a couple of...
You whooped like an American.
Yeah, for a couple of the reviews and the winners.
Did you do that during the wrestling as well?
The wrestling, no, it was. I mean, well, that's going to save it for grappling views. But yeah, it was the first night was a bit meh for me. But anyway,
how long have you been waiting to use that one?
but on to the BAFTA best game. I know you see it, but no surprise, Claire Obscure Expedition 33. Anything else we need to say on that?
No, move on.
Yeah. Animation. And this is, again, one of the ones that I actually let out cheer. Animation won by Dispatch. It was great to see Dispatch winning.
Absolutely right.
Yeah.
That game is phenomenal.
Yeah. And this is why any time that one, which is a bit of a spoiler now, I actually cheer because it's great to see a game like that get a bit of recognition, isn't it? Other than good reviews.
Yeah, I think what was nice about Dispatch as well, it was the only actual game that its only mechanic was animation in that category.
Yeah, right.
like the whole thing was just an animation. Yeah. And every other game in that category, yes, there were animated things in it, but it was pure animation. So yeah, I mean, it had to win.
Yeah. Artistic achievement was Death Stranding 2 on the beach. I think it's a good looking game, isn't it?
I think it looks stunning. I love Death Stranding. I love the whole aesthetic of it. I thought it was really good. I think there's some very clever ideas in there. So yeah, I mean, again, I'm really pleased it won. Had this been closer to the end of last year, I could see Clara Obscura sweeping a bunch of these. I think there was a little bit of people are a little bit tired of it winning everything. Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, we discussed that, didn't we? Yeah.
Yeah. So I think maybe it's a good thing that it's been a bit because I think in one of the awards, and Joe or someone said it's quite recency biased, and because Clair Obscur was quite old at that point in terms of the year, but it still swept the boards. But I think it's nice that there's a bigger selection in here and some really good winners. Sorry, Karen.
Audio achievement, Dispatch, which again, really, really pleased.
Oh man, the voice acting in that game. Bearing in mind, it's got a load of, YouTubers
influence,
in it. Influencers on YouTube. It's brilliant. So good.
I think it was a couple of them. I think a couple of them actually presented an award that night as well. Best British game, Atomfall, which I remember starting and moving on from it, but it is a game I want to go back to. Did you get stuck into that?
Played about half an hour of it. Hated it.
Oh, really? It's definitely a British game.
Every action I took, I got killed. It didn't matter what I did. Yeah. What approach I took, Matt Dead spotted me. Whether I was creeping or going in guns blazing, I was just like, no, I can't play this. Yeah. That's a me problem, by the way, people. Game's probably brilliant.
Debut game won by Clair Obscur Expedition 33. I think fair.
I get it. I mean, it was up against Blueprints, which I would have put in there personally because, it's a better game. But
that was the second and last award that game won, so don't worry.
Okay. Oh, good.
Yeah. Evolving game, best evolving game, No Man's Sky. Now we've mentioned that on here a few times, haven't we?
Yeah, and I saw the nominations in here, and I was just so pleased that No Man's Sky won this because they have been grafting for years now to get this game where it is, and they've just introduced some sort of weird Pokemon thing into it. But it's that aside, the evolution of that game's been phenomenal, and I'm hoping next year Crimson Desert's in there. Just for the sheer number of patches that are coming in every week.
Yeah, that's true. But yeah, No Man's Sky won evolving game, and just watch our back catalogue of recent weeks. Really, we've kind of spoken about that game a lot, haven't we?
Yeah.
Best family game was Lego Party, which I'm not aware of, but
no. Again, it was up against a game you've mentioned this episode. Is This Seat Taken?
Yes, I did see that actually. Yeah,
I didn't know if that was a family game, but
it's. I mean, I guess you could sit around a screen and work out tactics, but
then is Donkey Kong Bonanza the family game? I mean, it's got a multiplayer element, like one of you can play as I can't remember her name, his sidekick.
Well,
person.
Keep that kind of thought in mind for something a few awards down the list.
Okay.
Game beyond entertainment. So I think by that they mean something that's more than just what it's trying to portray, and that's Despelote, which we've discussed on here because I played it a number of months back.
You did.
Intriguing little game, and again I really was pleased for this because again I think this was done by two people, and it was about telling their story of their childhood and football, and with the backdrop of politics, etc.
Yeah,
great win for me, I think. Game design, Blueprints. So again, you've applauded it on here enough, haven't you?
Amazing design in that game. The layers in that game are insane.
Yeah. Now this is one where I said keep what you're saying in mind. Best multiplayer went to Arc Raiders, which I'm not saying. I you and I have both said that I love that game on here, but I just weird the best multiplayer. I don't know. It feels odd game.
Well, I mean, if you look at the other, there's only so what? It was up against Dune Awakening, which is an MMORPG, Elden Ring Night Reign, which is a it's not. It's what you team up with three other people, co-op type thing. Yeah. Online co-op. Lego Party. I have no idea. I assume you can play that online. Peak. Same sort of thing.
Yeah, I guess.
And Split Fiction, which is pure
co-op, isn't it? Yeah.
Co-op. Yeah. So it's a mixed bag in there, isn't it? It's weird.
I guess they're literally going down the more than one player route, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, look, out of all those games in there, having played all two of them, I mean, Arc Raiders was brilliant multiplayer. Like, and the small scenes of things it generated as you were playing were phenomenal. Like with other people, you just randoms online, apart from the ones that shot you in the back, And when we went on, we had a bunch of fun. So I could see it. I could see it. Yeah.
So that was best multiplayer, best music, Ghost of Yotai.
Amazing. The soundtrack on that thing is phenomenal. Spoken about it before on here. It's brilliant. I need to go back and finish it.
Narrative was Kingdom Come Deliverance 2.
I might, when I've finally finished Crimson Desert, I might pick that up because that is out on Game Pass, I think, now.
It is, yeah. I've still got the first one to play, to be honest with you. So.
I'm not bothered about that. that was apparently that was an appetizer for the second one. So the second one I'm going to go into.
New intellectual property, which I'm really pleased about, South of Midnight. We've
fucking amazing.
Discussed
game.
it on here.
Love that game. Absolutely love that game.
Yeah, and I think that deserves a bit more love, that game. But yet, new IP, South of Midnight. I kind of lied earlier. Performer in a leading role, Jennifer English as Mael in Claire Obscure Expedition 33. But again, I don't think you can have many disagreements with that.
If anything, I think Aaron Paul maybe. I mean, and what was good about him in Dispatch is he wasn't Aaron Paul.
Yeah. Do
you know what I mean? It wasn't bitch. He was very much. He played a very different character to that. I mean, even when he was in Westworld, the TV show, he was still very much the same character as he was in Breaking Bad. But in this, his vocal range in this was much better. And I thought he was great in it. But yeah, or again, Ghost of Yotai was another one that was in that category, and she was amazing in that. Eric Ishii was amazing in that.
The next one, I found a funny award in itself, performer in a supporting role, because it is usually like,
isn't it, mate?
Yeah,
BAFTA, isn't it?
But I was really pleased with the winner for this as well, as Jeffrey Wright as Chase in Dispatch, who is just a brilliant character, isn't it?
Another legend, absolutely phenomenal in that role. Again, he was in Westworld, and Jeffrey Wright's brilliant. I mean, he played Gordon in Batman as well. So, and William Batman too as well. The Robert Pattinson one. That is, he's amazing.
As Chase in Dispatch, great character. So it was good to see Dispatch pick up a few awards here. And the final one, technical achievement, Ghost of Yotai. And again, I think you've said that.
I don't even know what that means. Technical achievement. I mean, the game's beautiful, like madly beautiful. So I don't actually know what technical, because it was up against, just to say, it was up against Ark Raiders, Death Stranding 2.
If I remember right on the night, I think they said it's a mixture of everything, like its mechanics and
right. Okay.
And so it's about almost like the package as a whole kind of thing.
Because then you had Doom, Dark Ages, Indiana Jones, The Great Circle, and Split Fiction. It's a mixed bag in there, right? I mean, Doom, Dark Ages, whilst technically brilliant, didn't have anything, other than the throwy shield, didn't have anything. It was, stomp along and shoot shit. That was, it was almost like an 80s throwback game in that way.
Wasn't Doom, though, it was quite cool because it was all open and there was minimal loading, wasn't it? I think. I can't remember. I didn't really play too much.
Yeah, there was cutscenes covering it up, I guess, most of the time. And you got to fly around on a mechanical dragon, which is also brilliant. But anyway.
Yeah, so that was a BAFTA. So I just thought it was interesting just to call those out. Yeah, and it was nice to see some other games pick up titles there, especially ones that we've mentioned on here a lot, like No Man's Sky, Despolote, Blueprints, and Dispatch. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm pleased I played some of those winners and some of the games that are spread throughout, because, some amazing games in there. Right, well done, BAFTAs.
So let's have a look. Games of the year so far. So I think you and I were talking as we were calling this. It's third of the year gone already, isn't it? And we have seen some superb games come out already. I mean, our little sort of skit at the start where we talk about being stat year, it was kind of tongue-in-cheek jokes. It really is. Now, look, I'm not listing everything, which again you'll be relieved to hear. So what I've done is I've looked at sort of January to today, basically, and had a look at either ones that were, like I said, had a bit of hype around, a bit of hope around, and maybe ones that you and I have called out from a couple of the awards show.
Yeah, that's fair.
So first one I picked out, more out of a point of interest rather than it being any of those, but it was Final Fantasy VII Remake Intergrade, mainly because it's now launched on the Xbox, so 22nd of January. And for me, I'm still just amazed at seeing Final Fantasy VII on the Xbox, basically. I know the original one is as well.
Yeah.
Now, sorry, just to say, it's Square Enix, and it's currently sitting if you're listening to this, it may have changed by then, but as we record, 88 Metacritic average from 7 reviews.
For the Xbox version?
Yeah, purely for the Xbox one. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, what is it, 26 years old now? But I played a chunk of the PlayStation 1. It's all right. It's all right. I like the way they've changed up the mechanics to make it more of an action game. I can't say I was that super impressed. I know people have a lot of love for Final Fantasy, so I'm not going to try and put it down. There was obviously something there for a lot of people. But yeah, I mean, it's nice to see it on the Xbox. I won't be picking it up, but yeah.
I think it's a difficult one. I mean, it's a good score, but it's a difficult one for it not to, unless it was an absolute technical mess on there, because ultimately it is Final Fantasy VII.
Same game, right? Yeah.
But I just wanted to highlight that for it hitting the Xbox.
And review bombed by PlayStation players.
Yeah, and don't encourage. The other thing, and it's not something I saw specifically because I was doing this, it's something I've noted over the years. When we're going through some of these games, it's amazing how few reviews the Xbox gets on Metacritic compared to PC and PlayStation.
About the same amount of space they've got in Toys R Us or Smith's, I'd imagine. Yeah. It's like, they're on this rule of diminishing returns, but as far as gaming's concerned.
Yeah.
That's a whole other episode for Xbox and Microsoft. Move on.
Yeah. Right. The next one is High Guard. So that was released 26th of January. Shut down. Yeah.
RIP High Guard.
Shut down on the 12th of March. Released for the PlayStation, Windows, Xbox, developed by Wildlight Entertainment. Now, we know the story here, but it was a hero shooter developed and published by Wildlight. It was a player versus player raid shooter, casting players as wardens, competing in team-based matches. Now, it received a mixed reception upon launch. It attracted over 1.5 million players in its first month. The game reached nearly 100,000 concurrent players on Steam on its launch day, but within 24 hours of launch, the game lost 90% of its player base. Now, the game was shut down 45 days after its release, following a failure to establish a sustainable player base and the withdrawal of its primary financial backer. Now, review-wise, it's sitting on 63 on PC from 29 reviews and 62 on PS5 from 10 reviews. I mean, review-wise, that's not massively glowing, but, we've seen worse games do better, right? But we know the story of High Guard.
Did you say Concord? Is that what you...
No. I'm worried then.
Live service games. They're like, there's another one's been shut down recently. The problem is you throw these things at 10 a penny and expect each of them to be the next Fortnite or the next, hero shooter or, whatever it is. It just, that's not how it works. And they keep throwing these things out there. It's very rare you're going to get like extraction shooters. They're all coming up with them now. Like Disney are going, Epic are going to release one based on all these Disney characters. And you're like, it's not, I mean, even Arc Raiders, as much love as we have for it, we did a whole episode on it, earlier this year. Yes, the game is amazing, but it's done things that have put us off to the point where we're like, well, I can't be bothered. And that's not an us problem. That's rippling throughout the entire community of Arc Raiders now. Right, they are now dropping player count. And they are, that somebody put it in a death spiral that other games would long for, But unless they do something to pick that user base up, it's going to end up in the same place, which is really sad because it is a game built on an amazing mechanic and it's a great game done really well. And I'm sure High Guard was, I'm sure Concord was, and I'm sure, but it takes more than just something that looks pretty. It has to be engaging. It has to move that certain player mindset away from Apex or away from, whatever it is that they're playing. And there's very few games, I think, that are going to be able to do that and move the needle. And unfortunately, High Guard was a casualty of that.
Yeah, I think, you kind of hit nail on the head when you were talking about us as well. So, we did talk about it so much, both on the show and off it. And, we literally loved it. I think you'd put 60 hours in within about a week, it felt like.
Totally.
But you and I both then dropped it pretty much at the same time and not even thought about it. And look, that's not to say that's an us thing as well, absolutely. But I think it just proves the point of what you're saying, that these live service games live or die by how they're being sort of, or what it's offering you. And I think I see a very similar complaint online about end game content for that.
Agreed.
As well as something we've said, and without stirring that or poking the bear again, about offering a PvP versus PvE only game modes as well, I think.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's lots of problems intrinsic to a game like Ark Raiders that are causing the community to move. I mean, even this week they did something really stupid around, this so you can basically prestige in it, right? You can follow a certain set of rules to get, to abandon your current character, reset to the beginning, but you get bonuses and buffs for the following one you do from scratch. And one of the things that you had to do was save up to a maximum of get a maximum of 3 million credits in cash. And 5 days before they turned over into the new thing, I think it was 5 days, they went, oh yeah, for people on who were doing it for the first time, we're going to change that. It's now done on damage dealt because we don't think it was fair to say. So people have been saving for nearly 3 months to get 3 million credits, and were then told for the last 5 days, ignore that. You're going to lose it anyway because you're resetting your character. But now we're going to award you your buffs on damage dealt, and people are like, what, 3 days? What? And one group of people were like, we play as a team, and they were like, we've got like it was a stag do or whatever. We're not even going to be able to play the game for 5 days. Yeah. And you've basically told us that now everything we've done up until, so this whole, why not just wait until the reset and then go, we'll change the method then. So it's this whole, culture communication that's built up around this contact between players and, and some companies do it brilliantly, and I think they did at the beginning. I think another example was what's the one we used to play with Joey?
Helldivers.
Helldivers 2, right? They started off doing that brilliantly, listening to player feedback, not always adhering to it, but introducing things that kept it fresh, kept it new, kept it exciting, but communicated in the right way about it. So And sorry.
No, and I do think, without rehashing it, but I think High Guard also, I felt, had a bit of an unfair backlash because of the whole Jeff Keighley and awards game highlight, which, look, go.
Half-Life 3.
Yeah, go check out. Can't remember what episode.
I would rather have Half-Life 3 announced than High Guard, in fairness, Dan.
I mean, I can't remember what episode we discussed it, but to be fair, you're going to check out all our back catalogue now anyway, so you'll hear us talk about it.
It was probably the Game of the Year show that we talked
I think about. It would have been the live service game. We did a couple of weeks ago. Yeah.
I'll pin them both up. Have a look at them.
And Art Life, right? Next game is. I put this in because it feels like it did really well, and those who loved it absolutely loved it. I've not played it yet myself, but it's Ken. So released on 29th of January for Windows and PlayStation, developed by the Game Bakers. It's a rock climbing simulation game played from a third-person perspective where you control Ava, a professional mountaineer who aspires to become the first person to reach the summit of a fictional Mount Kami. Now, on PC, it's sitting at 86% from 43 reviews and 83 on PlayStation from 37. You've seen this or played this? Or
I am aware of it, mainly through other channels talking about it. This game sounds like my idea of hell. A game where I have to manage stamina and be very precise about my movements so I don't slip and die with very hardcore reset points. No thanks. I'm all right. I'm a 50-year-old dad and granddad, and I think I would struggle to get my head around it and be successful. So no, you're all right. But good job on the team.
Yeah, and I think that's why I put it in here, because it is a kind of like it's a great looking game. It did do well on release. I think for us, this would be a perfect Game Pass game, right? If this was ever on a service like that.
For you, yeah, it might be a perfect Game Pass game. Yeah, I think you're right, Dan. For you, it would be a perfect Game Pass game. It would be one that I go, move along.
Moving on, all right, on that order. Right, the next one I've kind of added because I know I don't think we've discussed it much on here, but I know...
I wanted to pick this up, but I didn't.
So it's Mugenics, released 10th of February on Windows. Now, what I hadn't appreciated was it was developed by Tommy Refens and Edmund Macmillan, who both worked on Super Meat Boy. It sold over 1 million copies in its first week of release, generating 23 to 25 million in gross revenue. It's a tactical role-playing game divided into 2 stages, combat and cat breeding. And yeah, basically the cats have varying statistics as well as access to mana reserves, and the combat portion of the game takes place principally on a procedurally generated grid with 2D isometrics perspective. Now, that is sitting on a healthy 88 from 53 reviews.
Yeah, I didn't pick it up. I read a few reviews and I just got a bit, I don't know. I think I was rogueliked out by that stage after having finished Hades 2 and I'd done and I was just like, I'm not sure I can do another one just yet. So it might be when I go back and pick up, because I clearly do like roguelikes. And I like the idea of the kind of, creating new things based on DNA of the cats that you already have, although you don't have any control over it. So yeah, I might go back and pick this up.
Okay. Yeah, no, it's not. It's one that I like the look of, but I know I probably wouldn't be that good at it, or maybe get a bit frustrated on, I think. So, but I like the idea, and, it's got cats in it, right? And,
got cats in it.
Yeah.
You're a dog person. I get it.
If they were hidden cats, I'd be all right. If they were hidden cats, I'd have been all right.
Maybe you can hide them. Yeah. They could be a rogue.
But look, it's another game that's done well. So I kind of just want to highlight at the moment, other than High Guard, sort of games are, scoring pretty well. So we've had a good year so far. Next one, again, I know we both discussed this on one of the Game Awards, and I know you were looking for it, you were anticipating it, but Romeo is a Dead Man. So released on the 11th of February, PlayStation, Windows, Xbox by Grasshopper Manufacture. On Steam, they estimate as of March, anywhere up to 89,000 copies sold. All platform estimate, they reckon you had an extra 20,000, so I think it's done around 60 to 100,000 in total. Action adventure game described as ultra-violent science fiction where you play as Romeo Stargazer, an FBI investigator who tracks down wanted criminals across space-time using his modified half-dead body. Now, PlayStation, it's got 72 from 64 reviews. I've got PS2 here. I must have been doing this when we were talking.
It's interesting. I haven't played it on the PS2, Dan.
But yeah, PlayStation 72 from 64, PC 74% from 40, and Xbox it's highest at 78 from 14. So I forget. I don't think you did pick this up in the end, did you?
No, I was going to, and it was going to be a day one. Based on everything we'd seen and said. And then I saw a couple of reviews come out before it launched. And yes, I do sometimes get swayed by reviews like we all do. And I was a bit like, do you know what? When I saw it, before I knew much about it, I thought this feels like a bit of me. And then I started looking at it and went, do you know what? I don't think I'm that fast. I think it's one of those games I will pick up when it comes down in price a bit and not at full price. I didn't, it didn't justify that for me. And I think there was some other games came out at the same time that I just went, no, I'm going to play that instead. But I will still pick it up at some point because I do like the Grasshopper games. So yeah, let's see. But yeah, I think it was disappointing from just when we saw the trailer for it at Summer Games Fest last year. It just looked insane. And the whole injection in the eyeball and the madness of the whole thing, and it went from being a weird, almost Rick and Morty-esque cartoon into this hyper realistic. It's just all a bit mad, and I was like, oh yeah, that looks crazy. And then you kind of more unravels about it and you're like, maybe not. But yeah, I think I will pick it up, just not right now.
Yeah. Next is one that was a bit of a surprise for me because I remember sort of picking it up, even though I wouldn't be able to play it because it was on the PlayStation, but it was God of War Sons of Sparta. So released on 12th of February by Mega Cat Studios Santa Monica. It's a 2026, so it's 2026 because that's what we're talking about, but it's a Metroidvania game. So this is why it was that 2D sort of side-on view. It was a change of approach for the game. Now, it's 64 from 78 on Metacritic. Now, bear in mind how well, and we did an episode a little while ago, didn't we, on God of War and how beloved the main franchise is. This felt like it was a little bit of a sad note, wasn't it? A sour note that it's
I think so.
Very mixed reception.
when the creator of God of War, Cory Barlog, goes, "Why the hell did you make this?" You kind of listen and you kind of go, "Oh, you're the guy who created, Kratos and did all the back of the fag packet drawings and all that." And then they released this, and he's like, "I don't get it. I don't understand why you'd even bother doing this." And then to go a step further and go, "No, it's a 2-player game." "Oh yeah, but you've got to finish the entire game first before you can play as the second player with co-op." It's a weird, that is a weird flex. You can't. It's a co-op game, but you can't play in co-op until you finish the campaign.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
What? Okay, sure. No, I think I won't bother then. So, yeah, I think the reviews speak. Well, like it's middling of the road, right? So I think that's that's where I'm sure there are fans of it out there, and if you are, please do let us know why. But yeah, not for me. I want another God of War.
Smash things. This is but this is what I was going to say.
God of War's more than Smash. Check out our episode, see what God of War's actually about, Dan. I mean, you can watch it as well if you like.
That's what I was going to say. Look, 64% is not a dreadful score.
No.
But it's for a franchise like that. And I think why have you made this is a valid point, because it's like, you're not playing God of War because you want it to be a 2D Metroidvania. Look, and I remember at the time saying, look, if they do this right, this could be a great idea, great game. But it's just, because the execution is lacking, it's almost like,
nice.
Well, that's it. Well, you might as well play any one of the 2D side-on Metroidvanias, right? So, yeah, that was another sort of lowish mark compared to the others. Next, I picked this up because, again, it's got mixed, middling reviews, and it was a highly anticipated one. And I think we mentioned it a couple of times. So it's High on Life 2, released on the 13th of February, PlayStation, Windows, Xbox, coming out on the Switch later this year, developed by Squanch Games. Look, you've said earlier Rick and Morty, so you are playing in this one as a kind of like a bounty hunter, isn't it? So you've got an arsenal of talking weapons that are called Gatlians, which do inject a bit of humor into the game. So yeah, after saving humanity in the first game, the player character becomes a bounty hunter. However, an alien pharmaceutical conglomerate plans to turn humans into pills, and their player character seeks to take them down. Now, Metacritic, PS5 69, PC 71, and Xbox, again, from less reviews, has kind of nudged it higher to 75. So, yeah, I played it, enjoyed it. I said I don't think I enjoyed it as much.
Did you finish it?
Yeah, completed it. I don't think I had as much fun with it as the original game, but I think middling score is about right for me.
I played that now.
Yeah,
that was enough. Which is really disappointing because I played a fair bit of the original one. I think I got about 2/3 through it. Maybe there was a bit I got stuck on, but yeah. And so I went in with really high hopes. I thought the opening montage was hilarious and really well done. I really enjoyed that. And then I played up to the bit where you get to the end of the first biome and the place is on fire, and you're talking to the guy who's got bringing his son to work day, and you've got to go in and rescue your sister or whatever. He's joined up with this rebel group. And I was just like, nothing's caught me. Nothing's made me go, oh, this is great. Everything just seemed to follow those traditional bit. Here's a weapon. Here's a thing that does this. This is a grappling hook. And I was just like, yeah, I can do this in any game.
Yeah.
It just felt rinse and repeat, which was disappointing because I'm sure there's more to it than that, but it just didn't do anything for me. And maybe I was in a bit of a low on that sort of game at that time. But yeah.
I think for me, what's weird was the addition of the skateboard mechanic in it. It wasn't a thing for me.
I didn't even get that far.
Oh, really? Wow. Yeah. Yeah. It's so, again, look, it's not a dreadful game. It's just, I think for me, it was kept carried along by the moments of humor, which a lot of times you had to find that. That's not to say the game wasn't funny, but there were some really funny side little bits. Like, again, there's a bloke who talks about a troll under a bridge. If you've done that bit, you'll know what I'm talking about. So there was the elements of finding some of those fun bits. But yeah, look, it's not terribly bad. Look, 69, 71, 75. That's not bad, right? So see if we get High on Life 3 soon.
Yeah. and see people confuse it. Sorry, did you say Half-Life 3?
Yeah.
So,
oh man, they could do something.
Do it, right?
They could do something really funny, and seeing some of the stuff they riff on in the game, they absolutely would. So.
They've got to do that, right?
Yeah, we called it here. Right, the next
it'll come out before Half-Life 3, that's for sure.
The remastered version of Half-Life 3 will come out before.
The PlayStation 8.
Yeah. Look, the next one I'm really looking forward to. I want to pick it up. I said to you earlier, I want to finish Pragmata, and then there's another game I want to complete, and then it's this one. So Resident Evil Requiem, 27th of February, Switch 2, PlayStation, Windows, Xbox, developed by Capcom. It's become the fastest selling game in the 30-year history of the franchise, selling over 6 million copies within 2 weeks of its launch. It reached 5 million copies in less than a week, driven by strong performance on PlayStation 5, PC, Nintendo Switch 2. Now, on Metacritic currently, it's got, look at that. It's 89 from 138 reviews on PlayStation, 93 on the Xbox, 92 on PC, and 90 on Switch 2. So, yeah, it's right up there. And I can't wait. I can't wait to play this.
Yeah, and later in the year, if you switch on DLSS 5, you can make Grace look realer than she does. I don't know what they were thinking, letting them do that on that thing, but yeah, I'm not. I've said it before. Now I'm not a massive Resident Evil fan. Past Resident Evil 4, I was kind of like meh about the whole thing. I don't know. I'm going to wait until your verdict. Maybe I'll come back as Hunk Leon and go and kill a bunch of people. I've already played Hot Dad Hugh and killed a bunch of people this weekend. So maybe Capcom a bit of roll. Maybe it is good. Maybe I missed something.
Again,
maybe I'll find it here.
The name characters Hugh along with Gordon from Half-Life. I love that.
Yeah, it's just great names. Stuart would be another one.
Yeah. Bob.
Jeffrey.
Bob. Next one. So we're into March now. Marathon. Be quick on this one. We know what it is. It's a PvP game, gameplay, loot extraction mechanics. Sitting on 82 on PlayStation, 83 on Xbox, 80 on PC. I mean, I've not heard too much about it since it's released, other than the ongoing competition between Ark Raiders fans and this.
Yeah, I'll be interested to see where the stats are now on it and see where it's at, because I know again it launched to great acclaim, and then people went nah, and some people went no, it's the best thing ever. A lot of the reviews, certainly publicised reviews, were very positive about it. Claiming it's the return of the extraction shooter. It was amazing. It was great. It was none of the softly that you have with the game like Ark Raiders in certain lobbies. Not that there's a bad thing about that. We enjoyed that very much, but yeah, I'd be interested to see what some of the stats are now and where it's heading. Because it'd be sad to see a game like that from Bungie, because they do great shooters. Go the way of something like High Guard, because of, again, launching a live service. So see how much faith they've got. Because does Sony own Bungie now? Is that a thing?
I think they do. No, I think they do.
So, yeah. So
look, good scores, 82, 83, 80. So we'll see when we do this at the end of the year.
Reviews don't mean everything, no, Dan.
No, and in our episode on reviews, we kind of say that. Right. Next, I've not played this. I think I know you've got it in your household, but Pokemon. Pokemon Pokopia. I mean, you have to have Pokemon on it.
Animal Crossing for Pokemon, Dan. That's what you have to call it. That's what it is. Well, this is what it is.
5th of March on the Switch 2. Currently sitting at 89 from 108 reviews, which I think is impressive, from that many reviews. Yeah,
it's smashing it. My daughter loves it. The end.
Have you kind of had a look to it, or have you tried to get involved with her?
No, she comes and tells me herself, and I've got this Pokemon, I've found this thing, I've done this, and I'm like, sure. Or I'm waiting for this thing to happen, because it's a bit like Animal Crossing. Certain events don't happen until you've done a certain thing, and then you have to wait a series of in-game time for that thing then to happen, and in-game time normally lines up with like a day in the real world or whatever. So yeah, she's come up to me regularly and kind of said she's done very excited about it. Yeah, I mean, it's Pokemon. It's good to sell by the bucket loads anyway.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, they just do. Along with that and suing other companies for doing something similar but not quite like Pokemon, they're very good at it. So, yeah.
And look,
yeah, it's not my cup of tea. I fucking hate Animal Crossing. I've said that on here as well.
I've not played it. Look, and generally, I know, Frosty, if you're listening, I know you do, but I just haven't ever got into the Pokemon world.
No.
But let us
It
know.
passed us by, mate. We were too old for that.
Yeah, we were just too old. It's an important word there. So yeah, if you've played Pokemon Pokopia, let us know your thoughts. It's just too old, Darwin.
I'm going to have so much fun when you turn 50 in a couple of years.
In about 10 years, yeah. All right, moving on really quickly. I know we're all about truth here, right? Yeah, so in a couple of years. Right, so Slay the Spire 2.
Fucking brilliant game.
Yeah, there was no scores because it's still in early. It's still in early access. I did see last week it got review bombed again, didn't it? Because of an update. I think.
Let's make a change to the card or to the deck or to a single thing. Right, I'm going to review bomb it. It's fucking nonsense, man. Players are idiots, all right? Just enjoy the game.
Yeah.
Enjoy what they're doing. Wait and let them balance it out. It's the same thing is happening all the time with No Rest for the Wicked. You know, they make some Twix changes and people just go mad on in forums and subreddits. It's like, just let them cook. Man, that it's not out yet.
Yeah.
Let it cook and see where it comes out, and then have an opinion. Fuck's sake!
But as you said,
I just stop doing early access.
Yeah. Well, that's it. But as you said, more Slay the Spire, which is a great thing, right? So
it's amazing. Such a good game. Really enjoyed it.
Next up, just because I played it, so I put it in.
Yeah, sure, might as well.
Yeah, you got Fatal Frame 2 Crimson Butterfly remake. Now, well, the cool thing about this, what I hadn't realised is it's a second remake of this because there was a Wii version in 2012 called Project 02. Now, that's currently sitting on 80 for PC, 79 on Switch 2, 74 on PlayStation, and 74 on Xbox. So fairly respectable, I think. There's good for an old game like that. And you know, when we've seen, you know, Silent Hill remake have a comeback and horror in general sort of getting a bit of a renaissance. I really enjoyed it. So yep, if you've played it, let us know. So this one here, Dan, I'm not sure if you've heard of it. It's called Crimson Desert. Came out on the 19th of March. Now,
it's only good.
It's apparently so. It was originally planned as a prequel to Black Desert Online, but evolved into standalone title. It's an action adventure game, open world. It's sold at the time I made this. It sold 5 million copies, marking a significant milestone less than a month after its release. It's currently sitting on PC 77 from 118 reviews, PlayStation 78 from 50s, and Xbox, it was unrated. So I think it's had 3 or 4 reviews, but it's not enough to give it a score on Xbox. Now, look, we've said a lot, right? But anything else you want to add?
I mean, 5 million copies. Right, and bearing in mind, other than the MMORPG, which is it's not even adjacent to, that's a new IP. Right? For a new IP to sell 5 million copies in less than a month is phenomenal.
Yeah.
Right? And yes, there was a lot of hype built up about it. This is where I take a little bit of umbrage with some of these reviews, right? Because I think you have to be very careful. If you are someone who follows reviews and buys something or purchases something based on a review, you've got to remember they get pre-release review code. Right, even on day one, that game almost became different. Like in terms of some of the controls and something. I watched the video today. Interestingly, from IGN, right? You got to remember, IGN played this for 10 hours and said it was shit. And then played Marathon for like a fucking year and said it was amazing. And then it was like, no, but they're comparable reviews. Same person, dick. What you've got, and I am slightly defending it, right? I think you need to give a game like this time to breathe. And yes, I'm not always going to say it's acceptable for a developer to then go, well, let's make a load of tweaks and changes to something that's sprawling, because it's not in early access, right? It's a complete game. But they have been listening to the community, and it is a very different game from launch. So the game that was reviewed at launch and given 6s out of 10 or whatever is now completely different. And I would encourage anyone who'd seen that or read a review to go and give it a go yourself. The game is insane. It's massive. People are still finding new stuff on that game about secrets and, you know, things that I mean, they're too numerous to mention, and some of the stuff is on there is just madness, right? I mean, any game where you can get a rocket pack up to a hot air balloon and then go to a castle in the sky and then find a magic god and defeat him and defeat him in a game that's like a, you know, Street Fighter, and then get his special gloves to go back and become a kung fu ninja. It's just like, it's mad and it's brilliant. And it's just the minds who come up with this stuff are bonkers, and go and try it, because it is genuinely, and I've played a lot of open world games, it's genuinely one of the most refreshing, brilliant open world games that isn't an Assassin's Creed and isn't a Far Cry, isn't an Ubisoft mold, or isn't a, you know, genuinely phenomenal. I'm having so much fun and keep going back to it, and struggle to picking up anything else other than Pragmata as a result. So yeah, I struggle with those reviews because I think they were early code. Yeah, you know.
Well, look, a few things from me on there. I mean, they are outlier reviews because look, it's 77 on PC, and that's not a terrible score for a debut IP, right? It's IGN will come up with something for me later, but yeah, look, we said earlier, No Man's Sky won a BAFTA this week. It was lambasted on launch, right? And now look, I know many years later, but it turned itself around quite quickly. So yeah, games are allowed to improve. But also it goes back to this thing about how can you fairly treat a game when, you know, you and I are talking and like 30, 40, 50, 60, 70 hours in, people are finding new mechanics and new elements to the game. How do you condense that if you've got a week with it or 10 hours or so?
Totally. I mean, just for instance, right? So on Steam right now, under recent reviews, 72,553, all very positive. So, you know, 86% of those are very positive compared to what, you know, the reviews are on now. I'm not going to do this for every game, but just it's, you know, I think it speaks volumes for the game itself.
Yeah.
You know, so I you know, go out and give it a go.
Yeah, and just a bit more context on the sales. So it sold 2 million copies in a day. Yeah. It then hit 3 million after 5 days, and then a week later reached 4 million. So it's pretty impressive, right? And then it's added obviously another million. So, you know, it's done phenomenally well. So it goes to show again that reviews can obviously have an impact, but ultimately word of mouth, I think, is also just as much.
Totally. And like I said before, the devs actually give a shit. And that's another important thing. And the communication with the community and talking about what they're doing and how they're doing. Even this week, they normally release a patch on a Saturday or a Sunday morning. And even this week, they sent out a letter to the community to basically say, we're going to be a bit late with this one because actually we're working hard on a lot of the content that we said we would. So it'll be a much bigger patch and it will come this week. Yeah. And it will come this week because they've just been, you know, progressively building on what they've got. And that's have a great foundation and build on it. So excited to see what'll happen.
Yeah. Next one I've added here because I know this franchise has got a number of.
Just realised we weren't going to talk about Crimson Desert. It's been fucking 20 minutes talking about Crimson Desert.
No, sorry, everyone. Well, I'm glad we didn't talk about it. It's my fault we're talking about it. I'm glad you didn't talk about it at the start because I'd forgotten. Right. I've added this one in mainly because the franchise has got a number of fans out there, including myself.
I'm surprised you haven't played this yet.
Not yet. I do want to pick it up. It's had kind of some mixed reviews I've seen, but it's Life is Strange Reunion. Came out on the 26th of March, developed by Deck 9. Now, the reason why I specifically picked this one is if you're a fan of the series, it's a sequel to Life is Strange Double Exposure, and it follows the return of Chloe Price reuniting with Max Caulfield. Now, go right back to Life is Strange, the original. Those are the two main characters. I loved it. It was a great, it was a great relationship between the two of them. The game features for the first time 2 playable characters, as well as obviously Chloe returning. So on Metacritic, PlayStation 71, PC 73, Xbox 81. Now, yeah, I will play it. I was really looking forward to this because as a closure to the Max and Chloe storyline, I think that's where my interest is. But I think I've said to you before, the Life is Strange series has been quite a roller coaster in terms of sort of whether I've enjoyed it or not. But yeah, it's kind of had middling reviews, which is why I've held off of it for now. Maybe when it's reduced in price a bit, that's when I'll pick it up. Not for you, is it?
For me, Life is Strange passed me by about as much as Pokemon did, mate, to be honest.
All right, so on to the next one, which I know I picked up. I think you mentioned it, but I think it was on one of...
Did you pick this up?
No. I picked this out as on one of the game show, previews. I am going to pick it up soon. I do want to get this. There's another game further down the list I want to play next. Then I'll look at this. But it's Darwin's Paradox. So come out on the 2nd of April. And I'll tell you why I've not picked this up yet. So it's a platform game published by Konami. You take on the role of an octopus named Darwin who must use his intelligence and ability to survive and make it back to the ocean. Now, Metacritic, it's on 73 for PlayStation, 70 on Switch, 74 on Xbox, and 74 on PC. The reason why I haven't picked it up at the moment is because I've read reviews saying that it's actually quite hard. It's actually quite a difficult game.
Right.
But I've already seen it online. You can get it sort of a decent deal. I mean, it's only £20 anyway, so it's fairly reasonably priced. But I think that's probably still a too high price for me getting angry and losing what little hair I've got left.
Yeah. I think someone just saw a sequel to Finding Nemo and had a fever dream and created a video game around it. I think that's what happened. Shame it's not voiced by the guy from, I can't remember his name, from Married with Children and Modern Family. Al.
Yes.
Married with Children. Anyway, sorry.
Yeah, we're moving on. Right, next one. Again, I've picked because it's a system jump, but Starfield on the PlayStation 5. Look, it's fairly newish, but it's got 80 from 21 reviews. And the only reason for wanting to say that is we discussed on here last week or the week before about the bug it had on PlayStation's not starting.
Yeah.
It crashing. So 80 feels quite high if you can't play the game.
Right. This is what I mean. This is the problem with reviews. Right, you've got a game. I'm going to say you've got a game like Crimson Dawn, which came out and they panned it because the story wasn't good enough, or this or that. And then you've got a game that's basically unplayable on the system you're reviewing, and you're like, yeah, no, it's good. Not to mention the fact Starfield's shit. Right, out of all the games that Bethesda have created, right, it is the worst. It's just not a good game. It's fuck. I tell you, what was it? I can't remember who said it. But if someone said the biggest crime that Starfield commits is it makes space boring.
Yeah.
Right.
Look, I'm not going to necessarily say it's a shit game, but
it's a shit game.
No, I found...
I will fucking die on that hill. It's a shit game. I put 40 hours into it. It was shit.
I didn't even get that. I've probably put about 5. But I'm not going to... What I'm saying is... No, my issue with it is it wasn't a compelling game. There was... Why am I playing
so
it?
Nice. No. Compelling. It was shit.
No. That's not nice. That's me calling it boring. It didn't grab me. Now, there are some people out there, there's like the bit of the shipbuilding element, etc.
Right.
But yeah, I just didn't find a reason to want to keep playing it.
No, me neither.
Yeah, but you know, you do.
I will tell you how much I put into it. Oh, I can't tell you now. Oh, well, no, 3 days and 59 minutes. What's that?
You left You left that running, didn't you?
No, that's what? Yeah, about 40 hours. Fuck it. Yeah.
So you love it.
I had but what my point is, I put time into it, and got nothing back. And yet I put half as much time into Pragmata, fucking game of the year, right? Contender. Do you know what I mean? That level of what I got back from playing a game, and for that reason, it's shit.
Yeah, but I mean, they're different games, right? But
no, stick to Sword and Sorcery, Todd Howard.
No, but the thing is,
give me
Elder Scrolls. Try do that in Red Dead Redemption 2.
Do that in Red Dead Redemption 2.
No, my kind of like my beef with it was, look, I love Oblivion. I had Oasis in my head then. I mean, I do love Oasis, but I don't know why. I loved Oblivion. I love Skyrim, sort of Fallout, and those are kind of quite open, sparsely populated at times. Starfield, I just couldn't work out what the hook was for me to keep playing it. So
Because it was shit, damn.
It wasn't compelling. Right. The next one is maybe something people might level up. I'm still trying to find out what I put into.
This is middle, this one.
Here we go. Samson, a Tindalston story. So the reason for picking this up was, again, it was on a game show. I think I had it on a list of 5, which I thought looked interesting. Released 8th of April by Liquid Swords. It's an open world brawler. You've got to do jobs, as it were, to earn money to pay off debts, etc., wasn't it? Now, it's currently sitting on a score of 50 from 27 reviews. Safe to say,
because you said jobs in the same way that you just said about Starfield. So you're saying jobs is like you saying compelling isn't shit. You're saying jobs, like you basically go and kick the shit out of people is what you do.
But yeah, I mean, I think we said, didn't we, before it came out, when I saw it was priced at like £25 already.
Yeah.
And look, and the developer has apologized for the game not being great, said they're going to work on it, patches, etc. I think I still do want to pick this up when it's dropped down a little bit, sort of in price on a sale. But I think with this one, I feel it's a shame because it just feels like it hasn't taken enough time or enough time maybe to polish it up a bit. Now I don't know how long it's been in development, but I think there's room for another kind of these open world sort of gritty brawlers, but it needs to be good, right? And look, and this has got 50 from 27 reviews.
Yeah, I mean, so that's what I mean. It's bang on middle of the road, and it's I mean, you think it would resonate more with people today, having to take on a side hustle to repay massive debt. I mean, you think like a lot of people it would resonate with that, me for one. But I think this is the problem. Again, similar maybe to Crimson Desert. You get a game that has great potential, could be brilliant. You send out a review and the kind of, I think even when we saw the trailer, I was like, it looks like the punches aren't connected. It looks like there's bad stuntmen doing the work. For me, that takes you out of that, being engrossed in that environment when something like that happens and you're like, it doesn't quite work. And I saw some really shonky videos of it. And then, if you're reviewing that, you can kind of go, yeah, I get why you might drop that down. And yet you have Starfield that crashes when you land on a planet, but that's all right.
Yeah,
that's acceptable because Bethesda made it.
Yeah,
you're mad. Crazy world of reviews.
Look, the next one we'll won't spend too much time because you've spoken a lot about it. But Replaced came out on 14th of April, sitting on 76 on PC. Xbox is unrated at the moment. Yeah. So the next one is one I picked up, and look, so it's on. I'm going to play it once I've completed Pragmata. I'm moving on to this. It's Mouse PI for Hire now. It's come out literally in the last few days, so 16th of April. If you'll know it straight away if you've seen it. It's a 2.5D black and white rubber hose style shooter. It's got Troy Baker, of course. It would have a voice in it. Now on Metacritic, it's got 80 on the PC, 76 on PS5, Switch 2, and Xbox One rated. Now, I really was looking forward to this. I still am looking forward to this. I'm pleased it's done well in reviews. I want to mention when you said earlier about IGN. So I saw they gave this 6 out of 10, right? And look, 6 out of 10, middle of the road. But someone had called them out on X and said, look, they said there's too many cheese-related jokes in a game that's about mice, where the main character is a mouse, right? So they said they've complained about that. I think they complained it was like ultra violent, or there's more violence than they thought. And it's like, well, it's a shooter, right? Maybe they saw it and thought it was like a noir adventure. I don't know, but you've got...
I think they got confused. Why are there mice in this game?
Yeah. But yeah, a mouse is a detective. But yeah.
Can we just point out for the audience though, mice don't traditionally fucking eat cheese.
Yeah, I love that whole thing.
It's a weird
and they also don't live in little sort of arches in your skirting board either.
It's like Tom and Jerry have got a lot to fucking answer for, mate, I tell you. And just point out for the audience as well that rubber hose style, just to be clear, is a reference to the way their limbs move in old animated cartoons. Yeah. It's not a power wash simulator game. All right, just
But no, I love this. It's very much it reminds me of Cuphead, and I think that's an easy / lazy reference, but it does. I think it does.
Yeah,
now,
I think it's a fair reference point.
Yeah, I was talking. It's going to be the third time I reference him, so he might just appear. But Joey, I think, has been playing it.
He's behind me.
Yeah, Joey has been playing it on. And do you know, I'm not going to tell him. I'm not going to say a couple of his thoughts because they're going to do an episode on it. But yeah, if you've played it, let us know. But I'm really looking forward still to play this. And I think 76 is a reasonable score. 7, 8.
Yeah, if you care about scores.
Yeah. Last one, Pragmata. Look, we've mentioned it at the start. We've gone into it, but it came out on the 17th of April, and as of today, it's got 86 on PlayStation, 88 on PC, 87 on Xbox, and 88 on Switch 2. Now, high eights on all systems, and I'm glad.
1 point off from Resident Evil Requiem on the PC. That was 89.
Really? Look, from me on this, really pleased because we've said how much we love the game. Really pleased it's manifested in the reviews. I mean, anything else on you? Firstly, on Pragmata itself.
No, just again, under 2 days sold 1 million copies, which is pretty much unheard of for a new IP. So quite phenomenal game.
A quarter of that was you, wasn't it? But
I didn't buy that many copies. I bought 2, but yes, I am an idiot.
No,
stand for pointing that out. No, fucking go play it. Go play it for yourself. Yeah. Ignore the reviews. Just go play it. It's just brilliant. It's so much fun.
Yeah, and look, I don't want us to talk about it. One, because I don't want to, but it's also the end of the episode, pretty much. Also, there's discourse on the internet about this game. Ignore that.
It's bullshit.
Play
it's absolute bullshit.
Make your own mind up because, as Dan and I have said it, honestly, we as gamers always say there's a lot of rubbish that comes out, or why aren't there any good games? You have to support the good games when they come out. Do you know what I mean? And
totally. I think Polygon rarely say anything I like, but they said it best when they said this game is the anti-Kratos. And yes, I think it is. Yeah. It is a parent-child relationship, a game built around a parent-child relationship, a weird one, a bit like Kratos and Atreus, in a very different dynamic, but extols the joys of parenthood, how much fun it can be having a kid around asking things, trying to find things out, whereas Kratos was just walking around going, boy. And so, this is the opposite, of the antithesis of that. And it's just a joy to play. Even if you're not a dad, go play it. It's brilliant.
Yeah, which I'm not, and I enjoy it. So
yeah, exactly. There you go.
Yeah, look, we go back to the start of the episode if you want to hear more on it. But yeah, I just think ignore some of the stuff you see, play it. Look, it's reviewed well, and honestly, I want to see more of this world. Look, Capcom have kind of been hitting it out the park at the moment. I mean, like I said, Resident Evil Requiem, so fair play to them. Look, they're producing some, in a world of live service games, multiplayer games, the single player game is live and kicking, right? So
I'm all the happier for it. I love a good single player. I just realised my camera's been out of focus the entire episode, so I apologise now.
Didn't look that
was
bad.
Completely out of focus. I just changed it.
Then my bandwidth isn't great anyway, so
yeah, it will look terrible apart from the last 30 seconds of this episode. I love a good, really good, solid single player adventure, whether it's God of War that's 40 hours long, or whether it's something like this that distills that into, 20 hours and you still have just as much fun, albeit in a different way. Yeah, I'm just really pleased they've released this. This was announced as a PlayStation 5 launch title. Right, so this is 6 years old. 6 years it's taken for this to come out.
And that's usually not a great sign.
Normally not.
Yeah.
And I'm so pleased they took 6 years to bring this out, because I do not think all of those mechanics and things we spoke about would have worked in the way they do to make this game as good as it is. Love it.
Right.
Really good. I'm going to go back and play some more.
Yeah, look, I hope you don't mind us. I hope you enjoyed that and didn't mind us having a look back at the year that's been. Just because, like I said, let's call out the games that have been good, the games that maybe you haven't sort of lived up to the hype. If you've seen a game that you've enjoyed, let us know. If there's a game not on this list, let us know that you want to highlight as a game of the year so far. I think other than a couple, the ones that picked out have all rated quite well. So it's a good sign. And I think, like we keep saying, as long as games keep coming out and games get picked up and the right games sort of do well, that's what we want to see, right? So.
And even shit reviewed games can be brilliant, Dan.
Yeah.
Crimson does it. That's what I'm saying.
But yeah, let us know your thoughts on the games we discuss and any games we haven't picked up. Dan, anything from you before we go?
No, thanks for popping by, people.
And all I will say is, again, if you're listening to us on audio only, let's see if we can tempt you. Go have a look at either the video on Spotify or YouTube, because as I said, each time I host, Dan does a great bit of work doing the video, and the games we talk about and stuff, especially at the start, there's always some little clips and stuff you put in. So it just adds a little bit of context to what we're talking about. So
when his camera's out of focus for the entire episode, but that's fine.
But yeah, look, hope you enjoyed. We'll see you next week for another episode of Gaming Views.